Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. We are here. It is currently May the 14th. This video will probably be released May the 15th. But in that case, it'll be 2 days before the NBA draft lottery. So we're getting in our mock draft 11.0. Just doing the lottery today because final mock draft before we know the actual order of the picks. So before we get started, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you do enjoy it at any point. And make sure to leave me a comment down below, as it really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the Houston Rockets selecting #1 overall. Now, if Houston gets this pick, I mean, that'll be great for them. They'll have a lot of choices, or a lot of options to make, some big time decisions, because who are you going to take of this big three? I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. Houston fans have wanted Chet Holmgren, some have wanted Jabari Smith, some have wanted Paolo Banchero. Heck, even some of them wanted Jaden Ivey, #1 overall. But in this video, we're going to go with Jabari Smith Jr., the 6'10 freshman from Auburn. Reminds me a lot of Kevin Durant with his ability to get into the mid-range and shoot up and over people. And yeah, prolific scorer, 17 points per game, only 43% efficiency, so that will have to be worked on. But you just take away some of his forces once he gets to the NBA. I think he's an NBA-ready player at 6'10". So yeah, Jabari Smith Jr. going to come in and provide an insurance policy for if they do decide to move on from Christian Wood this offseason. Now at #2, we have the Orlando Magic, and pretty much the consensus this mock draft cycle for them has been Paolo Banchero. He's kind of the #2 guy. Either Chet goes 1 or 3, or Jabari Smith Jr. goes 1, 3, or maybe even 4. Chet could sometimes slide down to 4, which we will probably see today. Spoiler alert. But we got Paolo Banchero going to the Orlando Magic, adding on to their great young core, because right here at the power forward spot, like I said, Jonathan Isaac is back, hasn't played a basketball game in 2 years. Bobo's a center, Chuma Okeke's a small forward. So getting that power forward that can come in and can start from day one. They could also be moving on from Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba, potentially some more front court minutes. Could definitely help them out a lot. And yeah, Paolo Banchero going to be a Orlando magician? I don't know how to say that. But Paolo going to the Magic at 2. 3, we have the Detroit Pistons. And I'm going to make the first surprising pick of the draft, because I think that Jaden Ivey fits alongside Cade Cunningham very, very well. You move, of course, Killian Hayes, Hami Diallo to the bench. Sadiq Bey starting there at the 3. Bagley or Grant at the 4. And then Isaiah Stewart at the 5. And that's a nice young rotation. Jaden Ivey, I think he fits really well alongside Cade Cunningham. If you do take the pick of Chet Holmgren, I mean, do you start him over Isaiah Stewart day one? Probably he's your top 3 pick, but Isaiah Stewart's been good for you the past couple of years. I know you could be moving on from Jeremy Grant, but now you have Marvin Bagley as that insurance policy. So Chet Holmgren is not going to be a Detroit Piston. Jaden Ivey is, as he fits very well next to Cade Cunningham. Now at the #4 slot, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, who just got Chet Holmgren falling into their lap. This is the best case scenario for the Oklahoma City Thunder, because their big man rotation is just not great, to say the least. Yeah, they could definitely use some help at the big man spot, and Chet Holmgren will provide that. Mike Muscala, probably not going to be their starting center next year. So bringing in Chet Holmgren, I mean, a guy averaged 3.3 blocks and shot at 40% from the field, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 61% efficiency. Even though he did get bullied a little bit in March Madness, I really like this pick for the Thunder, as he gets his time to grow and develop at his own rate, along with the rest of this Thunder young core. Now at #5, we have the Indiana Pacers, and that's who today's video is going to be on. So make sure you go and check that out. Got a couple of free agents in TJ Warren, Ricky Rubio. So yeah, the Pacers at 5, they're in an interesting spot. They got about 5 or 6 ways they can go with this. Do they go potential? Do they go proven knockdown shooter? Do they go a big man that can absolutely score the rock? Big man that's a two-way guy that can play defense, not as good of a shooter as Keegan Murray. Johnny Davis, just prolific scorer, and then Benedict Mathurin two-way star. I don't know. But today for the Pacers, I'm going to have them taking AJ Griffin. I believe he's less of a risk than Shadon Sharpe, and more of a 3 than Sharpe is. Even though they're the same height, he plays more like a 3 than a 2. So I think he fits in very nicely with this young Pacers squad at the 3. course, you got Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson there at the 4, Miles Turner at the 5. So we're going to go A.J. Griffin to the Indiana Pacers here. Yeah, I like that pick for them. About 12 points per game. Like I said, 50% from the field, 40-something%. Maybe 50% from 3 as well. Lights out, 3-point shooter. Now, we got the Portland Trail Blazers. Yeah, they got some holes in the paint. They got a lot of holes. I mean, they're probably going to be trading Damian Lillard this offseason. I'm about to do their offseason preview video. So if Dame's gone, Anthony Simons steps in at the 1 right away. Keon Johnson maybe has a path to becoming the starting 2 guard, although I'm not sure that's how you want to go with it. You could bring back Nurkic. You still got Nasir Little there at the 4. Josh Hart at the 3. This Blazer squad is in a really rough spot. But I'm going to have them go out, and I'm going to have them take Shadon Sharpe, actually. This is where I change it. With Damian Lillard potentially being gone, Anthony Simons can slide over to the 1, and you form the terrific young backcourt of Anthony Simons and Shadon Sharpe, 2 high schoolers coming into the NBA. And, man, I think that's going to be an absolutely fantastic duo in that backcourt for years to come. Now at 7, we have the Sacramento Kings. And I'm going to go back to my original pick for them, which was Johnny Davis, actually. No, I've changed my mind in about 3 seconds. We're going to go Benedict Mathurin because he fits that 3 spot better than I think Johnny Davis could. They're not too strong. That's probably their weakest position is the 3. You got De'Aaron and Davion at the 1. Terrence Davis, Dante DiVincenzo at the 2. Domantas Sabonis, Harrison Barnes at the 4. And then Rashawn Holmes, Queta, Metu. You have options at the 5 as well. So, I think they bring in a 2-way guy at that 3 spot, and that is going to be Benedict Mathurin, a guy that averaged about 17, 18 a game this year. Not the most efficient, but, I mean, it'll do. So, yeah, Mathurin there to the Sacramento Kings. That's actually one that I haven't projected at all yet this year. Now, we have the New Orleans Pelicans at 8. Hopefully, this doesn't become a top 4 pick because I would love to see the Pelicans keep their pick here. And, yeah, I mean, they got Alvarado, CJ, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jonas Valanciunas, Trey Murphy, Larry Nance, Herb Jones, Jackson Hayes, Kira Lewis Jr., Devontae Graham. They are stacked with young talent. So make sure you go watch my video about the Pelicans that I did a few days ago if you want to see more about that. But at 8, for them, they could go Dyson Daniels here, solidify that point guard spot. They could go Johnny Davis, get another scorer. They could go Keegan Murray, get another scorer in the front court. Have a backup option if Zion Williamson doesn't play. For them, man, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Johnny Davis. Get him a backup 2 guard, another scorer in that backcourt because there's not much scoring at the 1. CJ really does all the scoring in the backcourt. So we're going to go Johnny Davis, get him another scorer, an NBA-ready scorer to play that 2 guard position, the backup 2 guard off the bench, and I think he's going to be great in that role from day 1. Now we have the San Antonio Spurs at number 9. And for the Spurs, I feel like they need a center or a power forward. Luckily, they have the 2 best bigs left on the board available. So I'm going to go for them, Jalen Duren. I feel like he's a very, very comparable player to Bam Adebayo coming out of college. There's flashes of a mid-range jump shot being there that he could knock down. Great defender. Great lob threat. Super athletic. I mean, if it's the 1990s, he's the number 1 overall pick. Yeah. Jalen Duren to the San Antonio Spurs. I really, really like that pick. I mean, Pirtle, Jack Landale, Devontae Cacok, and Zach Collins not really doing it there in the front court. So we're going to go Jalen Duren to the San Antonio Spurs. At number 10, the Washington Wizards. Another interesting one because, not much point guard depth at all. I mean, you got Ish Smith, Ty Lawson, Ramon Sessions. At the 2, Bradley Beal, KCP, Advita, and Corey Kispert at the 3. Kristaps, Kyle Kuzma, Rui at the 4. Thomas Bryant, Daniel Gafford at the 5. You're good everywhere but the point guard spot. So that is Dyson Daniels going number 10 overall to the Washington Wizards. About 6'6", 6'7", everything you could want in a point guard. Great defender, great facilitator, decent scorer. can shoot the three ball a little bit. I really like this fit for Dyson Daniels going to the Washington Wizards and contributing from day one. At 11, we have the New York Knicks, and this is finally where Keegan Murray is going to stop his slide. He's fallen all the way down the board, and now at number 11, we're going to have the Knicks scoop him up. Julius Randle could be on the way out. Is Obi Toppin the potential power forward of the future? Not sure. I mean, he showed some flashes. But we're going to get another backup option to make sure you can get rid of Julius Randle this offseason, and that is Keegan Murray, the power forward out of Iowa. Prolific scorer, 23.5 points per game, 1.5 assists, 9 rebounds, 56% efficiency rating. Kid's a stud, and he's going to fit in right away in the Big Apple for the New York Knicks. At 12, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, and yeah, we got this pick through the Paul George trade. And I think you still go big. You got Chet Holmgren already. You got to go big again because you could definitely use another big man. So Jeremy Sohan's still on the board. Not much working with offensively, but defensively, the kid is a stud. Can guard 2 through 5, maybe even 1 through 5. And he's going to fit in really nicely right next to Chet Holmgren in that rookie front court. Of course, you also have Poku, JRE, and Darius Bazley, as well as Isaiah Roby, who could potentially give you minutes. But Sohan and Chet Holmgren, that's going to be a great young duo. Now, my Charlotte Hornets here at 13. It's going to be between Tari Eason and Mark Williams, and the one that we don't take, we're going to be picking with the 15th pick. So I'm just going to take Tari Eason because he's the higher-rated guy on the board. Gives us flexibility with the whole Gordon Hayward situation. So yeah, Tari Eason going to be a Charlotte Hornet. Can score the ball, average about 17 a game off the bench. Great defender, about 7 rebounds a game as well. So he's going to really come in and help us out next year at that 3 spot. 14, the final pick of the draft. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's between, for me, Ochai and Jaden Hardy, as you could probably use another Colin Sexton replacement. So for them in this pick, could we go Malachi Branham? That's a bit of a stretch. For them in this pick, I'm going to have them go Ochai Agbaji. Really good score, about 19 points a game, 5 boards, 48% efficiency. Out of Kansas, just won a national championship. Good shooter, can play some defense. I really like Ochai to this Cleveland Cavaliers team to be the Colin Sexton replacement, as they probably look to move on from him this offseason. So yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. Make sure to leave me a comment down below if you didn't like a pick for your team. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.